What up? In this video, I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know about building muscle. So let's get straight into this. Okay, the most important factor when it comes to nutrition for building muscle is the energy balance. You need to be in a positive energy balance, also known as a calorie surplus. Without this, you're not going to maximize muscle gain. Yeah, you can still gain muscle gain in calorie maintenance, but it's not going to be near as effective. Okay, so if you're a beginner, you can actually eat more calories than if you're in a well-trained individual, right? Because you can get away with these like high amount of calories because your body utilizes all of these calories in order to build muscle. On the other hand, well-trained individuals will use less of those calories to build muscle, meaning the other rest of the calories will be stored as fat, right? So that's really important to know. There's even been a study where they've trained like untrained individuals for about 8 weeks and they gain 3 kg of fat-free mass, meaning muscle, right? In just 8 weeks. That's insane. But typically I would actually recommend calorie surplus for about trained individuals, right? So people that have been training for like a moderate to a long time, maybe a year or plus. They have a calorie surplus of about 500 to 1,000. 1,000 is pushing a limit though. You're going to store a lot more fat than obviously 500. I personally keep it to 500. You can even go as low as 300 calories if you like been training for 5 years and stuff, because then almost the higher training age, the less of those calories are going to be utilized for building muscle, right? And one thing I have to mention before I move on to step number 2 is that overconsumption of calories does actually become detrimental, right? Because the skeletal muscle becomes resistant to insulin, or however you want to say it. So that's really important to know. If you're blowing your diet, you're doing some dirty bulk and you're eating 5,000 calorie plus over your calorie maintenance, especially if you're a trained individual, then be careful, because you might actually be minimizing your muscle gains instead of maximizing them. So that's all said and done on energy balance. Let's move on to step number 2. Okay, next up is macronutrients, otherwise known as macros, and let's start off with protein, right? Because everyone loves a bit of protein. So first of all, it's really important to know how much protein you need per day. You can get away with as low as 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight, or I typically just recommend 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, just to be on the safe side, right? Because just eating more protein, it just, again, on the safe side, it's not gonna go to waste, right? It's gonna go to waste of energy, but it's not gonna harm your liver or stuff like this shit. So I don't want to get too much into that, but yeah, 0.8 to 1 grams per pound of body weight, that's all you need. And one really important factor that I don't see it is mentioned in a lot of videos, and again, this is backed by scientific evidence-based research, is that the essential amino acid leucine is really important when it comes to muscle growth and maximizing this shit, right? Really maximizing it. Try to consume at least 20 grams of protein post-workout, or just in every single meal, right? Depending on how many meals you have per day. If you only have like 2 meals per day, you want to consume way more than 20 grams per meal. You want to consume about 60 grams or maybe 40 to 60 grams per meal. If you have 3 meals a day, you can maybe consume 40 grams of protein per meal, and then 20 grams, you get what I'm trying to say, more meals. So yeah, that is 20 grams of protein per meal if you're going to have like 3 to 4 or maybe 5 meals a day, right? And that is for young individuals. Older individuals need about 40 grams of protein like almost each meal, especially post-workout, in order to reach that leucine threshold. Basically the leucine threshold is optimal to sustain and maintain muscle protein synthesis, and we all know muscle protein synthesis is real important when it comes to building muscle. Obviously it kind of says it in the name. So yeah, leucine is real important when it comes to protein, and I'll tell you exactly what food sources you can eat that contain a lot of leucine. And one thing to mention as well before I tell you that is that some proteins or protein sources have got incomplete protein. For example, animal sources mainly have a complete protein amino acid profile, and plant-based resources got the complete opposite. They've actually got incomplete amino acid profiles, meaning they're missing 1 or 2 of the essential amino acids. So that's really important to know. But let me tell you more about what foods have the leucine in it and which foods you should be eating. Okay, some food sources that you can consume are like casein, whey, egg, black bean, even some peanuts, and of course chicken, fish, all these kind of good protein sources. And let me tell you, the quality of protein sources do matter. I know a lot of my videos I say they don't. Really, in the big aspect of things, if you have like a chocolate bar now and then, it doesn't really matter, but quality of protein does actually matter long term. So without further ado, let's move on to carbohydrates. Okay, so carbohydrates, in my opinion, in my case, I always recommend to people just to let the carbohydrates float around. You don't really need to concentrate too much on them. As long as you've got the energy balance and protein intake, you should be good to go. And just have the carbohydrate intake as the best you feel, right? For example, if you're a person that doesn't need a lot of carbs, then you don't need to eat a lot of carbs. But if you're a person that needs that carbs, then eat those carbs as long as you hit the energy balance. That's real important. Okay, so now dietary fat, right? This is really important, and again, something I haven't seen in a lot of other videos. It's very, very important to consume polyunsaturated fats way more than any other fats, because polyunsaturated fats actually enhance muscle protein synthesis, right? This is very important, again, backed by scientific research. The research isn't that clear, but why not be safe, right? So just polyunsaturated fats, food sources like this, shit, I'm speaking fast. Food sources like this is for like oils, vegetable oil, sunflower oil, like virgin olive oil, all these kinds of things. They are high in polyunsaturated fats, so flax seeds. So make sure you consume some of these over the unhealthy fats like chocolates and all those bad things. So that's really important. Okay, now that we covered macronutrients or macros, let's move on to meal frequency. Okay, meal frequency is the big one, and let me just tell you now, I don't want to talk too much about this. It's really not that important. If you're a bodybuilder and you want to get that 1%, maybe this is for you, maybe you need to listen up, but meal frequency is not that important. Let me just make it short, sweet and concise. So if you're a person that's doing 6 meals a day, 4 meals a day, 3 meals a day, just stop now. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do and what you should really concentrate on, again, on the big picture. So considering a protein rich meal, which would be probably like maximum 40 grams of protein per meal, which is quite high, minimum 20 grams of protein per meal. Protein rich meal lasts about 4 to 6 hours. See how important this is? You don't need to have like a protein shake straight after a workout, or after you've had that post-workout meal, have another meal another hour afterwards, just to sustain the anabolic effect. It's really not necessary. Even for young people, as long as you have like 3 meals a day and you spread that, like the protein amount, about 10 grams of protein that contain essential amino acids throughout the day, you should be good to go. The anabolic effect will last throughout the day. If you're an elderly person, then you might want to up that protein intake again to reach that leucine threshold. So again, not much said on the meal frequency, just concentrate on a total protein intake in a day. And to make it in real simple terms, if you're going to have 3 meals a day, just have protein probably the size of your hand, a piece of protein, like 1 big chicken breast is enough, 1 steak is enough, just real simple. It doesn't need to be too much. If you're like me that I like eating a lot of protein, just to be on the safe side. But anyway, let's move on to meal timing, the last one. Okay, so meal timing, if you're one of those people that are thinking about the anabolic window of opportunity, you have to have a protein shake straight after you walk out of the gym, I will price it, I'll smash that protein shake out your hand, because research has failed to show clear research that, you know, having a protein shake or whatever, a post-workout meal straight after workout is beneficial for long-term hypertrophy. Research has absolutely failed to show this. But like I said, if you're that bodybuilder and you just want to get that 1%, maybe you can just have a protein shake post-workout, or even if you're just a regular person. But in my opinion, if I was you, I wouldn't stress about it. Literally just don't really worry about it at all. So that's all I have to say on meal timing. It's really not that much. Can't speak today, man. But yeah, that's the 3 most important aspects on nutrition for building muscle, right? So now make sure you listen to this. This is probably the most important part of the video. Let me summarize this whole shit out for you. Look at the big picture. Number 1 is energy balance. If you're not eating a positive energy balance, a calorie surplus, you will not be gaining weight. Number 2 is the protein intake. That's the secondary most important factor, and again, you will not be gaining muscle tissue because you won't have enough nutrients or even protein to repair that muscle tissue. So that's step number 2. Step number 3 is meal frequency. If you're really going to be anal about this shit, have about 3 meals a day, have about 20 grams of protein in each meal, even 40 grams of protein in each meal, if you're real serious about this shit. And you don't need to have 6 meals a day. That's just being way over the top, and research hasn't even shown us any more beneficial. In fact, research has actually shown having about 3 to 4 meals a day spread out throughout the day is more beneficial than 5 to 6 and about 1 to 2. There's no bullshit, research has shown this. And number 4 is meal timing. This is not so important. Anabolic window opportunity is such a lot of bullshit. It's not important. Okay, I'm speaking really fast, but I'm trying to get this value out to you. So that's all the 4 steps you need to know about nutrition for building muscle. I don't want anyone messaging me about what should I eat now, what should I eat now. I've just told you everything you need to know. I'm joking, you can message me if you want. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, let me know down below in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more videos on nutrition for building muscle, nutrition for weight loss, cardio for weight loss, building muscle, or everything you can think of. Just subscribe down below, and I have 3 videos a day coming out for you. If you've been watching this video to this point and you're serious about building mass, I've just released a new program called Skinny to Buff. Link in the description, go check that shit out. 2 people have already bought it, they said it's great reviews. So anyway, don't forget to stay positive, stay smiling, and I'll see you in the next one.